What's up guys, TSlaps here, and we're back with a new Draft League video, baby. I'm your coach of the Buffalo Drills, and this is our Week 6 game of the BBR-D League. Last week we took a loss in possibly my worst played game of Generation 9 Wi-Fi. This week we're going up against TalonMasterJ and the Atlanta Talon Flames. Of course, you can go check out our opponent and all the other BBR coaches down in the description below, as well as be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with our Pokemon content, and leave a like if you do end up enjoying the video. I would really appreciate it. This is going to be the team builder section of the video, and on screen is the timestamp where you can go ahead and skip to see the battle. Now, our opponent has one of the most offensive teams we've faced all season, with Latios and Cinderace nearly having 0 switch-ins on my team. They have some good slower offensive threats in Mamoswine and Sinatcha, great hazard removal options with Scizor and Kleavor, Primarina, which can reliably take hits from my Urshifu, as well as TERA and Meloetta, which can tank hits with the option to terrestrialize and deal out just as much damage in both standard and pure rep form. We need to win out from here on out if we want a chance at playoffs, with a single loss eliminating us from playoff contentions. If we want to make a deep run in our first BBR season, we need to turn around our season starting this week. I also want to shout out Bonana and Treyant for the help in prepping this week. There are other coaches here in the BBR-D League, so go check them out in the description below. Starting off our roster this week is TERA Captain HISUIAN Electrode. Its high base speed allows us to outspeed everything on my opponent's speed naturally, as well as any Scarfers slower than max speed Mamoswine. We're running TERA Electric, which allows us to remain resistant to priority Bullet Punch from Scizor and make us neutral to priority Ice Shard from Mamoswine, and gives us a boost to our Stab Thunderbolt and Volt switches, which my opponent does not have a great switch in into. We're running Leaf Storm with our strongest move prior to terrestrializing and to break the Mamoswine, with Thunder Wave as our last move to paralyze the incoming Latios or Sinatcha, essentially crippling them for the rest of the game. We opted for Soundproof this week in order to gain an immunity to Hyper Voice spam from Meloetta and potentially Hyper Voice from a Liquid Voice Primarina, with a heavy duty boost to allow Electrode in as often as we need to without being punished by my opponent's hazards. Next Pokemon we have this week is a Zelf, which nearly outpaces my opponent's entire team outside of Cinderace. We're opting for a physical set in order to catch a specially defensive Meloetta or Sinatcha off guard. Knockoff hits extremely hard into my opponent's team, threatening OHKOs with Latios, Meloetta, and a 2-hit KO on Sinatcha, with Stab Zen headbutts 2-hit KOing anything neutral to psychic moves. Fire Punch allows us to OHKO the Scizor with U-turn to pair with our HISUIAN Electrode for fast switch initiative. The coverage I have from our opponent is super strong, and paired with our held Expert Belt, there's very few switch-ins to our fast Pixie. In our Week 3 team builder, I mistakenly said that we had brought every Pokemon on our roster, however, making its debut finally, Earthworm completes our entire roster, getting brought to at least one match. Our physically defensive Earthworm gives us great pivots into Scizor, Kleavor, and Mamoswine. We're running Heavy Slam with our attack investment, allowing us to 2-hit KO a non-HP invested Latios, as well as pressure Primarina, Kleavor, Meloetta, and Mamoswine with a ton of damage. Running an Iron Defense Body Press set in order to try and beat a setup Scizor and take hits even better from the Pokemon we're supposed to check. With our held Akaberry, we can take a Pyro Ball from Cinderace extremely well and threaten it out with a ton of damage with a +2 Body Press. We're also carrying Stealth Rocks just in case they come in handy, however we do want to be wary of Court Change Cinderace bringing hazards onto our side. Returning to our team is our bulky Azumarill. We're opting for an Assault Vest mixed wall set, which can take hits from Cinderace, avoiding a 4-hit KO from non-boosted Pyro Balls, and enough special defense investment to serve as a soft check to Latios and Primarina. Bad Play Roughs and Liquidations do well to break through my opponent's team with our huge power ability, as Scizor and Sinatcha are the only 2 Pokemon that want to try and pivot into our Azumarill's hits. Just as with the Zelf, Knockoff hits super well into my opponent's team, which may be able to allow us to remove boots from my opponent's side so that Earthworm Stealth Rocks can put a ton of pressure on our opponent. Lastly, we have Stab Priority Aqua Jet, which can pick off Cinderace, Kleavor, or Mamoswine pretty reliably. Now, our opponent does not have a single resistance to rock moves on their team, but we're bringing Lycanroc Dusk to absolutely break through our opponent's squad. Lycanroc's 110 base speed allows it to outspeed everything except for the Cinderace, which will not appreciate stab priority as Cell Rocks, and its speed tie with the Latios and Grafaiai. Stab Zonage has absolutely 0 safe switch-ins, with Fire Fang as coverage for Scizor and Crunch to OHKO the Latios or break through Sinatcha. Our held Berry allows us to take the Bullet Punch from Scizor and fire back with the Fire Fang, which OHKOs Scizor and lets us holding an Akaberry. The last Pokemon joining our squad this week is going to be our team captain Urshifu Single Strike. This is going to be our lead this week as we try and bluff Scarfed Urshifu to hopefully catch our opponent off guard with Sucker Punch on Latios or Cinderace in the late game. They have Dark Glass's boosted Wicked Blows can only be taken by the Primarina or a TERA Fairy Meloetta, which we have Poison Jab coverage for. Close combat allows us to hit the Mamoswine with an Oko or hit the Volibee with a ton of damage. And finally, we have U-Turn to add to our Switch initiative with HISUIAN Electrode and a Zelf. We have enough speed on our set to outspeed a max speed Meloetta. This is our team for week 6 of the BBR-D League. We're in a win or be eliminated point of our season, and this week we went with a more offensive build to hopefully overwhelm our opponent and make a climb back at the end of the season. What do you think? What would you change? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you're subscribed to not miss a single week of Draft League content. The playlist is in the description for the BBR-D League, where it will be updated weekly with our matches. Go check out our opponent as well in the description below. Thank you for sticking around for the team builder. Please leave a like if you did enjoy, and without holding y'all any longer, let's hop right into the battle. So we're hopping into this battle against our opponent. Let's see what they decided to bring. Of course, we already know their TERA captain is being brought because they gave us the TERA type. We're seeing TERA Electric Meloetta, which in my eyes means that it's probably going to be a pretty bulky set in order to deal with my Tornadus. Because Tornadus did go pretty well into their team. Of course, we didn't bring it this week, but that's just my thought when I see TERA Electric Meloetta. But let's see what 6 they decided to bring in general to us. We're going to see, of course, the Latios, the Cinderace, the Kleavor. Let me write that down. Latios, Cinderace, Kleavor, which I kind of expected not to see low-key. I won't say I didn't expect it, but I thought that was kind of a benchable mod, to be honest. Scizor and Meloetta with the TERA Electric. Alright, and they know, of course, we're TERA Electric HISUIAN Electrode. Alright, went over in the team builder what we are going to always lead with. We're going to lead with our Urshi here. And we're just going to go see what we can do right away. I mean, worst case, they lead Primarina right off the bat. Otherwise, I think we lead really well into their entire team. We outspeed the Kleavor. We outspeed pretty much everything on their team. Minus the Cinderace, which, of course, we can take the hit with and threaten with the Oko with our Wicked Blow. I guess Latios would outspeed us, but we could blow that thing. We're trying to bluff the Scarf right off the start. If they lead with Primarina, that's cool. Expect to see like a helmet set. Of course, we know that Wicked Blow into 2 Poison Jabs kills even a Fizdef. Fizdef leftovers Primarina, so that's like not really a big issue. Good looking fun to our opponent though. Dude, this thing that we see right here for Regulation G, like the thunder and everything, is so freaking cool. We're going to see Final Boss, which is going to, of course, be the Kleavor. So, don't love that lead, right? I am low-key scared of it. Just a tad a bit. In terms of it, like, being a Scarf lead against me or something like that. And just getting, like, a super strong close combat off onto me. But I think, for now, I do want to pivot out. I really don't want to risk it this early into the game. Although that kind of screams that we're not scarfed, right? At least in my eyes. I'm going to go ahead and risk it. I'm going to click U-turn. We should have a close combat from this thing anyways. So we see that they're scarfed, and now they know that we're not scarfed. So that kind of sucks because bluffing the scarf just isn't a thing anymore, right? But I think that's pretty good information to know that this thing is indeed scarfed. So we know that Scarf Kleavor with U-turn. And we're going to see the Primarina come in, of course. And we're going to get off a big U-turn here. Are we going to see Helmet? Helmet would be kind of annoying. We don't see Helmet, so I'm so glad I didn't bring Punching Glove this week. That's super awesome. So we saw that from the Kleavor, we got down to 217 with our... So it did 39% with the U-turn. So that might be Adamant, to be honest. That was a max roll of Jolly. So we are looking at potentially Adamant. So I can go ahead and go into Electrode here. Their ground type is non-existent because they didn't bring Mamoswine. I didn't look at what they didn't bring. They didn't bring Sinatcha, which is nice. No Mamo, no Grafai, no Volibee. So this is a free TERA Electric, I think. I don't think or I could just Volt Switch for free. Work at Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave is super nice for the Meloetta. And then we can Volt Switch the next turn on anything. So I'm going to go ahead and fire off a Thunder Wave here. We won't TERA just yet. Just so we can avoid, or we can like take a resisted water move from this thing. Primarina, we don't see an item. We didn't see leftovers. We didn't see Helmet. So maybe Kabia Berry. That's a potential thing to watch out for. And then how physically defensive are we saying this Primarina is? Just based on the damage that we saw. It's looking like max Vizidef if I had to guess. So we get a free, what is it called? Thunder Wave on something. If something were to come in, it would be either the Latios, maybe the Scizor, maybe the Meloetta because there is no TERA. Or, I mean, there is no Torn. TERA Electric is also nice for our HISUIan Electrode. So that is another thing. But we're going to need a big Thunder Wave off on something. Green Ranger sounds like the Meloetta to me. No, that's going to be Scizor. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and fire off a Thunder Wave here. And, I mean, I get the TERA and just fire off a Thunderbolt, no? I think that's pretty free here. If you go ahead and click TERA against this Scizor here, can we just 2-KO this thing? We absolutely can. I'm cool with that. I'm going to go ahead and click my TERA. Actually, I'm going to Volt Switch out first. I'm going to go ahead and TERA and Volt Switch out. I'm going to try to get my rocks up right now. I think that'll be super, super nice for their team. So we're going to see how much this Volt Switch does. If we see about half, then there's like no HP investment. Not completely what I expect. I do expect at least some bulk in this Scizor. But this Scizor being paralyzed is super nice. So we're going to go ahead and get a Volt Switch off. Do about 35% if I had to guess. Maybe 40, which is alluding to like a max HP set. So I can go ahead, go into my Earthworm here. And just maybe get up my rocks. They're going to knock, which I don't love that. I don't love getting knocked, but it's okay. We just lose our Aqua Berry. So knocking me down to 267, right? On my Earthworm with a knockoff. So it did 22% with the knock, which is looking like adamant max attack. So max attack, max HP if I had to guess. I could get up my rocks here. I also think just going for Iron Defense is super, super nice. Worst case, they go into Meloetta. I guess they go Latios as well. I guess I'll just get up my rocks for now. Rocks are fine for the time being. Of course, we have to speed this thing. This thing's at about 65%. You're going to see a close combat. Ouchie. That's fine. You can see Para, CC, knock. And I mean, how much is this body press about to do now? It's -1. We're going to see it do about half, which is super, super nice. Puts it in range of a Cell Rock for my Lycanroc. So I kind of like that. I don't need this thing for anything crazy. I guess it'd be nice for the Cleavor, but I'm cool with letting this thing go down, getting a body press here off, and just, you know, putting this thing in range of a Cell Rock, in range of Aqua Jet, just in range of Sucker Punch, in range of all my priority on my team. That'll be nice. That'll be nice at least. So we're going to go ahead and click body press here, unless they get fully paired here. But nope. Okay, so we're going to see the KO. This Scizor kills Worm. But Worm, you did great, man. You got our rocks up, which is super, super nice. So what do I want to go into here? I could go back into, I think Trode is fine because I resist the Bullet Punch. I can just Thunderbolt for free. Or I could Volt Switch. If I Volt Switch, I could go into, I don't want to let the Meloetta in for free necessarily. I want to try to avoid taking a bunch of damage from Bullet Punch before this thing drops, is what I'm thinking, right? So I either want to go Azu, which I think could be okay. They go Prim, that's fine. Or I go into All the Stars. I think that's just my better play. I get the Thunderbolt for free here. I think that's fine. I don't think I need to switch out or anything. If I Volt Switched, I don't know what my play would be. So I'm going to go ahead and Thunderbolt for now and see what they want to do. Because if I Volt Switch, that gives them pretty much switch initiative with whatever I bring in, and they can counter from there. So I'm going to go ahead and Thunderbolt for now. We are going to see the Bullet Punch. We are, of course, going to be able to take it okay. Not great, but okay. And Trode is going to be able to pick up the Scizor, which is super nice. Heals Scizor. So, just on the fact that they didn't defog, that leads me to believe either their Court Change Cinderace. I mean, I think that's the main thing, that their Court Change Cinderace. Because I think you always try to get the defog off on my Earthworm there. Or, because I don't think you're going to be Scarfed Defog Cleavor. That makes no sense to me, right? So, I'm really leaning towards that being a Fort Chain Cinderace, which I don't love. I don't love seeing that. So this thing's gonna come in. I have to pivot out here. Of course, I lost my Earthworm, which is kind of annoying. I think they just click the I think they click Stone Axe here. Just get up their hazards, right? But my thing is, with this thing being probably adamant, do I outspeed this? That's the wrong Pokemon, no wonder. I was like, these speeds aren't lining up. I outspeed this thing if it's adamant. I think I'm gonna risk it. And I'm gonna go ahead. Well, do I kill this thing with anything? The TERA Electric. No, I don't. Leaf Storm would be a roll. I mean, I can Volt Switch and put this thing in range or something. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and Volt Switch. I'm gonna risk it. If they're jolly and they outspeed me, okay, cool. Great. I was gonna say then they got a max rule, nothing I can do about it. This thing's gonna be at like 1. I mean, that thing is nearly in range of hazards, but it's definitely in range of a ton of priority on my team. I expect the Stone Axe here. I'm gonna go ahead and go into Azu here. See how much damage we take here. The Stone Axe is doing a little under half. I don't love it. Oh, we're gonna see an X Scissor here. That's actually super great that they didn't click anything else. So, do I Jet here? Or do I just Play Rough? I think Play Rough is fine. Actually, I think you just let this thing go down. Or do you go Prim? I'm going to go on Prim coming in because you do live Rocks again. I'm going to go ahead and play on Prim coming back in. No, there's going to X Scissor, so I do take a bit more damage than I needed to. But we need a big Play Rough off. That should be able to pick up the KO here. So, Azu kills Cleavor. And luckily, I don't get their Rocks up. So, what comes in here? Meloetta could come in. Prim could come in. I mean, if Latios comes in, we just Play Rough it. And we should be able to pick up the KO. Cinderace comes in. We get a big Jet off on it before it Pyro Balls me. Or not Pyro Balls me, Gunk Shots me. If Prim comes in, what is my play? I don't know. If Meloetta comes in, I don't know either. We'll have to look at what I have. I think I could go Urshifu if Meloetta comes in. But with it being TERA Electric, it's not like I kill it. But I get a big U-turn off as it tries to either Focus Blast or Hyper Voice me. And then pivot out from there. So I'm just curious what their play is. Latios, once again, like it drops to a Play Rough 100% of the time. Not 100%, but it should. Cinderace, I get a big Aqua Jet. Crystalline is going to be Meloetta, I imagine? Yeah. So we're going to see the Rock Chips and not Boots. I mean, do I just want to stay in and knock off on this thing? I'm kind of cool with that. I'm kind of cool. No, I like Jet through Cinderace really much. So I'm going to go ahead and pivot out here. I think I could go into a Zelf. Is that what I want to do? A Zelf and just get a big Zen Headbutt off on this thing? Because I don't outspeed Cinderace. I guess he'd be nice for Prim, but I got 2 other things to break Prim. I think a Zelf is fine here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Against this Meloetta, which with it being TERA Electric, there is a lot of things that I don't really know what it wants to do to me. Specs Hyper Voice would absolutely kill me, but if it Specs, then we can go into Electro for free. I'm going to go ahead and go into my Zelf here. If it tears into an electric type here, Zen Headbutt should 2 KO it after Rocks. Well, that's with no HP investment. This max HP after Rocks, we have a slight chance to kill it. We're going to see Thunderbolt come out. Ow, that was a crit. That makes sense. Oh, crit Para! Oh, you... Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Oh, my goodness. Alright, so... that sucks a ton, right? Let's see. Can we figure out any kind of damage with that crit? So it knocked me down to 81. So it did 72 with a crit Thunderbolt. So I'll tell you right now, that is not Specs. That means it's not Serene Grace either. No, wait, no. Serene Grace boosted it. I was thinking of... what's the Nidoking? Sheer Force. So that's like no HP or no attack investment. For it to have done 72 to me with a crit, I'm actually not sure how it did that damage if I'm being honest. Oh, that's with the TERA Electric check. That's why. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. So max special attack. I mean, if I'm paired here, it's probably gonna outspeed me. That's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and let my thing go down here. I'm paired. There's not much I can do. I'm gonna fire off a big knockoff. Imagine you TERA here. No, they're gonna hyper voice. Are we gonna see like throat spray? Hyper voice. We don't see the throat spray, so maybe like, oh man, hyper voice, thunderbolt. I'm in a bad spot because I didn't get any chip off with my Azelf. I could go into my Lycanroc here, but I'm not killing with anything, unfortunately. But I live anything from it. That I can go into all the stars. I think I'm cool with that. I'm gonna go into all the stars here. I'm gonna go ahead, go into all the stars. I'm gonna Leaf Storm first. I'm gonna see if I can chip this thing down. We should live any hit from this thing. Leaf Storm isn't gonna do a ton of damage depending on how much HP investment it has, but we can at least see what they want to do. We're gonna go ahead and fire off a Leaf Storm. This forces the TERA Electric, which is nice. And then we'll probably Volt Switch out on the following turn. That para into crit absolutely sucked because I think I lived the Hyper Voice after a Thunderbolt. Hyper Voice into Thunderbolt. Oh, as if it's critting me. I probably didn't, but at least would have gotten a Zen Headbutt if it had not parried me. So that would have been cool. Or a knockoff. I think that's what I ended up clicking. So a knockoff would have been super important, right? But it's going to tear into an electric type, which is super nice. We can get that popped off. We're going to get a Leaf Storm off. We'll see how much damage this does. Really depends on the HP investment. We are going to connect. It's our first time you click in Leaf Storm, I feel like, all season. But I did about 38%. We're going to see Hyper Voice, and it's going to be soundproof. That's what we love. That's what we love. All right, so we saw 38% with that Leaf Storm. So it's not looking like a lot of HP investment. Actually, probably none. So I get the Volt Switch out this time around. If they Hyper Voice again, because either Psychic or they Thunderbolt here. Is Urshifu living? I don't think you click Thunderbolt here. Psychic, I can take. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make a pretty big play. I'm gonna Volt Switch out and I'm gonna go into my Urshifu here on the Psychic. So we're gonna Volt Switch out. This thing's gonna be at about like 45%. And we're gonna go into Urshifu here. Urshifu outspeeds this thing always. We know it's not Scarf because it's been pivoting moves. I'm gonna get a big hit off against their team. In fact, does Poison Trap kill from here? It does not. That's cool though. We're gonna see a double Hyper Voice. So I mean, good play. Good play. But now we can go into Lycanroc here. Oh man. Okay. I forgot to mark down the kills. Meloetta kills Azelf and Urshi. I guess that makes sense. They know I wouldn't stay in, but it's okay. We get to go into our Lycanroc here and pick up the KO with a Stone Edge. No need to think about it. Cinderace can't come in. Latios is getting 2-tapped. In fact, it might die to crunch on the following turn, especially if I do connect. Prim is not appreciating this at all. Oh man, that sucks. I really lost two of my biggest offensive Pokemon to this Meloetta, which should not have happened because of that para. That sucks. That sucks. So we can get the Stone Edge off. We are going to be able to pick up the KO, which is nice. So Dusk kills Meloetta. And what is this going to bait in? I guess if they go Lottie, I should be able to pick up the KO with a Crunch, unless they're Cobra Berry, which is a big possibility, right? Actually, Crunch doesn't kill a Latios. Actually, after Rocks it would. After Rocks it definitely would if it's not Cobra. Cinderace, of course. If it comes in here, I get a big Accel Rock, and that puts it in range of Play Rough. If they go Prim here, I probably go Trode. I think I can live a Moonblast. Oh. And then what else do I have? I have Trode, Lycanroc, and Azu. Azu is super nice for the Play Rough, and it can live a hit from Latios and get a Play Rough off. So super nice for Play Rough for Latios, super nice for Aqua Jet on Cinderace. We're going to see the Prim come in here. I do want to keep this thing around. Super nice still for the end game. I'm gonna go ahead and go into Trode here. Can Trode live a Moonblast? That is my thought here. Electrode versus this Primarina. Can you live a Thunderbolt? Or sorry, a Moonblast. What am I sitting at? 193. I should from a defensive Primarina, which is kind of what I'm thinking it is for this matchup. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into it. And then, I mean, I just get a free Volt Switch off on their team. Electric type Volt Switch is going to be doing a ton. We're going to see Draining Kiss, actually. So that's better for me. I might want to Thunderbolt first. If I Volt Switch here, they Draining Kiss, or... They don't ever... Well, I guess they could Click Water move because they don't resist it. And then I'd be in a bad spot with Lycanroc. So I think I might just start up... That, or how much is my Azumarill doing? Because I could pair this thing. And try to catch the Latios coming in. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Thunderbolt. It's safer. So they're going to get a big Thunderbolt off on this thing. If Draining Kiss is all they have, then, I mean, I think we lived another one. No, they're going to Hyper Voice. Did you not see it earlier, mate? Oh! 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 That's awesome. Okay, so I think I just Thunderbolt again. No big deal. If Latios comes in, I can Thunder Wave the next turn. Yeah, I think we're good to just click Thunderbolt again. Bro, that's crazy. Alright, so Trode is gonna kill Prim there. So now they got Latios and Cinderace, which is the two Pokemon that I was most scared of the most in this matchup. They have to hit the field, but we'll see one of them right now. I mean, I think if Cinderace comes in, I think no matter what comes in, we click Thunder Wave here. This avoids the Sucker Punch from Cinderace. So I'm going to go ahead and click Thunder Wave here. That allows my Lycanroc to outspeed. This avoids the Sucker Punch priority. I think this is a great play. Just clicking Thunder Wave here. If it's Scarfed, we'll know right now. So we're going to click Thunder Wave. Alright, so we get the big para off on the Cinderace, which is super nice. Imagine we see a court change here. That'd be a crazy late game court change. We aren't going to see nothing, though, because we get the full para. So we're going to stay in here. And, I mean, do we love a Sucker Punch? We absolutely don't. But I'm just going to go ahead and fire off a big Thunderbolt. Put this thing in range of any of my team's priority in the back. Yeah, let's just do that. I don't need my Trode right now. We're going to go ahead and Thunderbolt, so definitely not Sucker Punching me. We're going to get off some huge damage, do about, like, over half. A ton of damage there. Right, we're going to see a U-turn, which should drop me, I imagine. So, yeah. Cinder, or Ace, kills Trode, but Trode, you did well. You got no ears. You can't hear anything. Can't hear these screaming, stupid Pokemon. You did great, man. That was awesome. All right, so we're going to see a big U-turn there. Cinderace is sitting at about, like, 35%, and it's Boots, actually. I said earlier if it's Scarf, we'd find out, but it's Boots because we saw no Rocks chip. So we're going to see the Latios come in. We're going to see some Rock chip on that. So not Boots on this thing. And I'm wondering, can Azu take a Thunderbolt from this Latios right now? Thunderbolt. It says we absolutely should. So I think I'm good to go into it and click Player Off. I think we'll be fine. That or I can click Knock. But if they're Cobra Berry, that's a problem. Because Cobra Berry is very likely into an Urshifu matchup, right? And if I click Knock here, I don't put it in range of a Cell Rock ever, I don't think. So I think my best play here is to click Player Off. I just need to connect. We're going to see Luster Purge. What is it knocking it down to? 187 to 73, so it will kill us with another one, especially with the Spidap drop, right? We're going to land the Player Off, luckily. Wow, that did no damage. Wow, that did no damage. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click Aqua Jet here. And we should be able to clean up the game with Lycanroc to Cell Rock. This was a lot more narrow of a game than I expected. I felt really good about my team. But man, I'm glad we at least got it off here. So, Lottie kills Azu, and then Dusk should be able to pick off the Lottie and the Ace for our first win in a while. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a big old minute since we've won the game. But I think we prepped really good. I think we played decently. I mean, we took extra chip with the Azu on the X scissor play, so that kind of sucked. Wouldn't have had to risk the play rough here at the very end had that not happened. I think Thunder Wave as our fourth move went really, really well into my opponent. Didn't have the greatest options for Meluetta on my team, but I think all things considering, we did pretty well against it. And I'm also glad that we ran rocks. I did not have rocks originally, and I'm glad I did because that could have been super important. But that's going to be game. GG to our opponent. We're going to pick up a win and keep our season alive. We got 2 more weeks after this. And we got to win both of those for a chance at playoffs. I won't say we clinch playoffs or anything like that. It'll just put us at 4-4. But we'll at least be in a good spot for playoffs. So thank you guys so much for watching, man. I don't know what they're waiting on. I don't know if they're trying to sucker punch me or what. But I mean, they aren't killing me with sucker, and I'm killing with 2 SL rocks. There we go. GG, our opponent. Go check them out down in the description below, as well as all the other BBR coaches. You can go check out the BBR playlist to see all our other 5 games prior to this. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe for Pokemon content weekly. And I see you guys in the next one. Peace.